Well, everybody, don't adjust your computer. It is me. It's Jeff Meacham. Welcome back to Talk Wrestling. After I've been told a few different things. It's been a couple weeks. It's been almost a month. It's been forever. But this is it, episode 100. Thank you all so much for making us the most watched wrestling discussion show on YouTube. Over 11,000 people and counting have subscribed to this show. We love each and every one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your patience. I know it's been a pain in the ass, but we had a death in the family. Aaron's computer just bit the bullet, and we're all very sad about that. But we have a new computer. We're ready to rock and roll. We also had a little bit of a scheduling conflict as far as me getting to Aaron's, Aaron coming to me, blah, blah, blah. But we have the bright lights, big city studio, lighting if you will. Only in public can you see this kind of studio lighting. Anyway, that's a Dusty reference just for Mike Nagel. Anyway, today's show is going to be a little bit different. I know I promised a lot of you guys I would answer your questions, and I'm sorry, but the way the scheduling fell of taping the shows, today is going to be a State of WWE address, so to speak. We're going to talk about what's going on with WWE, what's going right, what's going wrong. And next show is going to be about TNA, same sort of situation. And then episode 102 is going to be a mailbag show. So I apologize if you guys want to hear your questions now, but it didn't fall that way. I'm sorry. All right. WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment. The big story in WWE right now is, of course, the return of Bret the Hitman Hart and his ongoing story with Vince McMahon. Will they fight at WrestleMania? Won't they fight at WrestleMania? Is it going to be a tag team situation with Cena and Batista involved? Is it going to be Bret and Vince managing Cena and Batista? How is this going to fall? It's all up in the air. Everything's up in the air right now. I personally would like to see Vince and Bret go one-on-one in the street fight. Just personally, that's my own personal opinion, because that's what it's been building to. It's been over 12 years now since Montreal. Montreal was November 97. We're now in, February 2010. WrestleMania will be March 2010. It should be a one-on-one affair. It shouldn't be, them managing Cena versus Batista. I do agree with a Cena versus Batista rematch. We saw them at SummerSlam 2008, Aaron? SummerSlam 2008, Batista and Cena? Okay. I can't remember. And that was sort of anticlimactic. Cena got hurt. Batista, I believe, won that match, but it really didn't deliver like that match should have. Both guys are healthy now. Both guys are... Cena's got the back issues, apparently. We're hearing different reports. It should be Cena versus Batista one-on-one. It should be Bret versus Vince one-on-one. That's how that should fall. Again, the show's my opinion. That's just my opinion of how things should go. Edge is back early. We were all surprised. Well, not a lot of us. Those of us at RenoDQ.com weren't surprised, but a lot of people were surprised to see Edge at the 2010 Royal Rumble, and not only appearing in the match, but winning the whole thing. It was one thing they eliminated Chris Jericho, which we all expected in that match, but he went on and won the damn thing, and he's now the #1 contender at WrestleMania for either the World Heavyweight or WWE Championships. Kind of playing a tweener role right now. He's kind of, going back and forth. He, was very adamant against Chris Jericho and against what Jericho has said about him on TV and what Jericho is, Jericho being Jericho pretty much. Yet he speared the Undertaker because the Undertaker kicked him in the face, and they're feuding now. And there's no real mention of the WWE Championship in the picture because, the whole WWE title picture is just crazy. You've got the pay-per-view coming up Sunday, which we're going to talk about at the end of the show. But Edge is a tweener on TV, yet he saved the newly renamed Brian Danielson, of course, the best wrestler in the world in the independent scene now with WWE, from a beatdown at FCW. So, where is Edge going to fall at WrestleMania? Who's he going to face? Is it going to be Jericho? Is it going to be the World Champion? Is it going to be the WWE Champion? Is Jericho going to end up the World Champion after the Elimination Chamber match this Sunday? And that's how they'll play it out, Jericho versus Edge. And on the heels of that, ECW is being replaced by NXT after this week. ECW is already dead, RIP. NXT is next week, the first show. NXT next, whatever you want to call it. A lot of people have asked me when I thought ECW actually died, and because This year, the retirement of Tommy Dreamer, the last ECW original holdout in the brand, he's gone now. I honestly think that ECW's been dead for about 3 years, 3.5 years, since the December to Dismember pay-per-view in 2006 when Paul was sent home. I think since then, it's, been on life support. The actual ECW name, the Extreme Championship Wrestling name, has just been kind of like a hang-on for WWE to go, oh yeah, we're still ECW, it's still ECW. No. ECW has been dead and buried for, 3.5 years. They just call it ECW just to have a cool name. And I like that they're going with NXT. I like that they're finally saying, okay, ECW's dead, it's over, it's gone. What will become the ECW Championship? Will it be evolved into the NXT Championship, or will it be an NXT Championship? Or will we see just the up-and-comers just battling out for spots on the roster, Raw and SmackDown? We don't know what's going to happen. And what's going to become the established stars on ECW, like Shelton Benjamin, like Christian, like Zeke, like Regal, like all these guys that already become established stars on ECW or have been lent to ECW from Raw or SmackDown. Where are they going to end up? NXT, again, more promise, more things are going to be happening. Very cool stuff. The whole Shawn Michaels scenario. He said after DX lost the tag titles, his career is over. This whole obsession with the Undertaker, I mentioned this in my column, which you can find at nodq.com/columns. The Extreme View is back. I haven't written a new one since I wrote the first one, so I apologize for that, those of you actually reading the damn thing. Thank you for reading it, and I'll be writing another one soon. This obsession from Shawn Michaels toward The Undertaker is unhealthy. It's kind of creepy. I don't think Shawn Michaels has anything left to prove WrestleMania. I do need to correct myself. I said The Undertaker's never beaten Shawn Michaels one-on-one. He did at WrestleMania last year. That was my mistake. But other than that, Shawn Michaels has been the dominant part of that feud over the last, 12 or 13 years, off and on. That feud has been going on. So for me, I don't think Michaels has anything left to prove at WrestleMania, and especially against The Undertaker. Shawn Michaels proved he can go with The Undertaker. He tested Undertaker more than anybody else ever has at WrestleMania. They had the match of the year last year, the match of the 2000s, according to NoDQ.com readers, and according to me personally, is a match of the decade. So for me, Michaels has nothing left to prove. I don't think he needs to have a match with Undertaker. If anybody, he should face Triple H. I don't think Triple H should be against the WWE champion. That's what ends up taking place. Sheamus, whoever ends up the champion. It should not be him as the WWE champion. However, if Triple H wins the WWE championship and Shawn Michaels challenges him, there's a cool scenario. I like that personally. The 2010 WWE Hall of Fame inductees have been announced so far. There was an inductee announced Monday night on Raw. Again, I have stuff DVR'd. I'm way behind. I'm so sorry. I have not seen Raw this week, but I do know that the two inductees that are announced before that, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, was announced a couple weeks back, and during the course of that week, on the WWE Japan website as well as various media outlets, Antonio Inoki, former WWF champion. Depending on who you ask. Japanese legend, New Japan legend, Inoki Genome Federation, I believe is the name of his company. Just a super duper star in Japan. One of the all-time greats. He's getting his time. Vince is kind of teasing the Stu Hart thing back and forth with Bret. Will Stu Hart get inducted? Will Owen Hart get inducted? That's a lot of the talk going on right now. Will Owen Hart get inducted? Will the Hart family as a whole be inducted? British Bulldog, Jim Neidhart, the Hart Foundation. Will they be inducted? Stu and the other children or whatever that wrestled. Will they be inducted? The Hart family name is kind of up in the air. So we'll see what happens there. The end of the Survivor Series. I'm kind of torn up about that. I'll get to that in a second. Vince McMahon announced that on a conference call earlier last week, I believe it was, that the concept of Survivor Series has run its course, I guess, and he's killing it off. He's going to replace it with another concept pay-per-view, a gimmick pay-per-view, and, they put up a survey, WWE did, about different pay-per-view concepts. They have a tournament event up there, which is a single elimination bracket style tournament like they've had for the WWE Championship in the past, like single elimination. A Battle Bowl, which is random tag teams put together with the winning teams being put in a 2-ring battle royal. They've done that with WCW in the past. Battle Bowl was a huge thing for WCW back in the day. A Money in the Bank event, where the Money in the Bank is the main event. I don't like that one. I like Money in the Bank being part of WrestleMania and being part of that whole grand thing. That Money in the Bank is a huge thing for somebody. A Legends event. Slamboree, really? You want to do a Slamboree event? I don't know about that. A Roulette event. Kind of like Raw Roulette with Bischoff back in the day. That'd be cool. A War Games event. I don't know if you could do more than one War Games in a single night. People could probably get burned down on War Games really quick, but War Games is a cool concept. I've been wanting them to bring that back for a long time. They own the name War Games. They can't, nobody else can use that because they own Jim Crockett Promotions. The WWE Draft event. I'm not sure if that should be on pay-per-view. That should be a Raw or a SmackDown. They should do. I mean, if they're going to switch people on the brands, they should have it on the TV show, not on pay-per-view. And a Street Fight main event, events. Most WWE matches are Street Fights anyway, it seems like to me anymore. They always go to the outside. They don't, institute 10 counts very well anymore. So I say that's dumb too. But as far as Survivor Series, the thing with Survivor Series with me is I started watching wrestling just before the 1990 Survivor Series. So Survivor Series is one of those events that's near and dear to my heart. I've been watching just since The Undertaker debuted pretty much. So his debut is important to me. You go back in the history of Survivor Series, 1991, Hulk Hogan losing the title to The Undertaker. That was huge for me because I was the biggest Hulkamaniac dork that there was, and I still am. I don't care what anybody says. Although we're going to talk about TNA next week, I'm going to have some criticisms last toward Hulk Hogan. So stay tuned for that next week. Undertaker beating Hogan. The 94 Survivor Series with Bret and Backlund. 96 with Bret and Austin and Michaels and Sid. 97, of course, the big one, Montreal with Michaels and Bret. 98, where they did a rehash of Montreal with The Rock and Mankind. 99, where Stone Cold got run over by a car. So many big Survivor Series memories. So many things have happened at that event, and I think killing it off before Undertaker reached his 20th anniversary is kind of like, that sucks. Because Undertaker didn't reach his, not 20th Survivor Series, but 20th anniversary at Survivor Series. I think that would have been a cool thing to promote that. And Vince killing that off has totally just deflated that whole thing. So I think that sucks. The concept Survivor Series matches, yes, it's played out. The 5-on-5 thing, Soul Survivors, whatever, that's played out. I agree with that wholeheartedly, but the name itself still stands for tradition, stands for something in the business that meant something to a lot of fans. And I think it's screwed that they did that. This Sunday on pay-per-view is going to be the WWE Elimination Chamber, the replacement for No Way Out. The best place to find coverage, of course, besides WWE, if you're going to watch the pay-per-view, that's cool. But if you're not going to watch pay-per-view and you can't afford it, NoDQ.com is your best place to find the results. As always, 4 matches as of this taping have been signed. The Divas Title Tournament Final, as Gail Kim takes on this newly reformed Maurice. It seems like Maurice is turned over a new leaf and is being a good sport. Yeah, right. She's going to be down and dirty this Sunday, guarantee it. And I firmly believe that Gail Kim should be the winner. Will she win? It's up in the air for me. Maurice has already been champion, so I'd like to see Gail Kim win it and become the only person in history to win all 3 major women's championships, as far as both WWE and the TNA. So we'll see. Drew McIntyre defends the Intercontinental title against Kane. I like Kane, but I don't think he's going to be an Intercontinental champion, personally. He's been there. He's done that. Drew McIntyre is going to retain, in my opinion. The World Championship Elimination Chamber match, what I would like to see, personally, is Chris Jericho win, and Edge challenge him and win, and then Christian challenge him after winning Money in the Bank at WrestleMania and winning from Edge. That's what I want to see. That's what I think is going to happen. And the WWE Championship, I'll go with Triple H just so he can face Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 1-on-1 for the WWE Championship. Because we've never seen that. We've seen Triple H and Shawn Michaels many times. We've seen them fight over the World Heavyweight Championship. We've seen them fight over personal bitter rivalry. But we've never seen them fight over the top championship in the company's history, the WWE title. So that's what I think is going to happen. That's it. That was quick. Okay. Thank you all for watching episode 100. I know it was brief, and I know it wasn't the big build-up that, you know, we were going to do something special. I dressed nice. I shaved my freaking head. I shaved my ugly-ass mountain man beard. That's special, right? Anyway, next week, the state of TNA as it stands right now, and believe me, there's a lot to talk about with TNA. So we'll see y'all next week on Talk Wrestling.